All right, welcome into Prize Picks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. We got a Dolphins day off today. That's why I'm outside enjoying South Florida. I'm Ethan Scully. You can follow me at Ethan J. Scully at 5 Reasons Sports. We got David Ebersol. You can follow him at David W. Ebersol. David Friedman. You can follow him at Talk About Sports. Again, no Dolphin game today. We'll get to that tomorrow. Dolphins playing the Titans on Monday night. We're going to go around the NFL, though, and there's some really interesting quarterback picks today. So I'll get to one of mine, and then we're going to kind of go around the circle here a little bit. They're giving away money with C.J. Stroud today. I think I understand the Jets' defense is hyped, but I don't know. Tua moved the ball against them. I think Stroud will move the ball against them. 220. Was it two? I mean, look at that. I mean, 258 and a half. Stroud's been getting to that in like 2.5 quarters of late. So I'm going to play that. Again, the Jets, do they really have anything to play for at this point? I mean, Rodgers is not coming back. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a letdown there. And the Texans are playing for something right now. So I'm going to go over on Stroud. I also like Lamar Jackson over 199.5 today. Again, I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more here as they go forward. And I'm going to play Lamar. I looked at the passing and rushing for Lamar also, but decided to just play the passing numbers. But there you are. He's been under. No, that's passing and rushing. I'm sorry. 199.5. Been under a couple times here, but I think he goes over today. What do you guys like? Jordan Love, right?
Yeah, I took Love. That number has been kind of moving around now. It's at 226.5. He's been kind of the focal point of the offense now. They've really turned into a little bit more of a pass-heavy team there. And the Giants, another one of those teams that not much to play for, really. I think they want to kind of get Jordan Love in the groove here over these next few weeks. So Green Bay's looking much, much better on offense. And you see those totals. I mean, he's been pretty far over that, close to 50 yards average over this 226. So I'm going to just go ahead and ride the hot hand here with Jordan Love. But like you said, there are a lot of quarterbacks with the good totals today, I think.
Yeah, Freeman, you like any of them?
Do you like that pick or do you love it? Yeah, no, I like Jordan Love.
I like
Him
it a
and
lot.
Christian Watson have obviously they've been connecting a lot more, and he's trusting him with those, throwing up top and stuff like that. So I've stayed away from quarterbacks today. I actually went to the Kansas City Buffalo game. I don't like either of those quarterbacks in that game. I think it's going to be heavy run. I went both running backs, but I didn't realize Pacheco was out. So I went McKinnon on that end of it. I think he's at like 20 yards, something like that, 20 and a half.
Receiving.
Is that what I took the rushing yards, I thought. No?
20.5 receiving. You took receiving 20.5. He's at 16.5 rushing. But
That's what I
without
meant to
Pacheco,
say.
either
So
one of
let's go
those
that
could,
Yeah, I was going to
direction.
say
go either way.
who else is going to run the ball for them? If it's not
So
him.
it's Edwards-Helaire, but we've talked about this, right? So, and on the other end of it, I'm going James Cook, but I'm going rushing attempts. I think he's at like 11 and a half. I just think that this is, but it's one of those games you look at it a couple years ago, and this is a heavy passing game. Not now. This is not what's happening. So there'll be a lot of running in this game. I think it'll be a lower scoring game than we're used to seeing between the two of them, but I think both of those guys clear those numbers pretty easily.
Any
I love both of
receivers?
those.
Any receivers that you guys like today? Freeman, you start, and anybody that jumped out?
Christian Watson, I do like I said, but I mean, I would have gone Kincaid in that game. I don't like the tight ends against Kansas City. So I do think on the other end of it, I would go maybe like a Gabe Davis, something secondary, not really a Diggs on that one. But I don't like any of the look. This isn't like look at the games today. They're not sexy games, right?
Yeah, that's
Well, you
really
got
the only one of them.
Cowboys Eagles later, but I feel like that game is going to be a little bit more defensive maybe than one might anticipate. But I haven't really looked at that game in depth. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb has been a monster lately, so if you're going to look at that game, you would maybe look to him. But in terms of the matchups, I agree there are some kind of dog games today, but I feel like there's good value in those dog games. And one of those games in particular I like was actually the Saints and Panthers game. You got Bryce Young at just 178.5 passing yards. I think that's very doable in a game which they'll likely be behind on the road at New Orleans. And I'm going to look at them on both sides of the coin, not just rushing, but not just receiving, but also rushing. So Hubbard here I'm going to take him 17.5 yards in his first 5 attempts. The Saints have given up 370 rushing yards in their last 2 games, and they gave up 5.6 yards a carry to Atlanta. So I feel like the Panthers are going to be able to move the ball today against the Saints in what could be a high-scoring game. So I was looking at that one in terms of some of these dogs, and also maybe Mike Evans for the Bucks.
I looked at Mike Evans too. That 5.5 receptions looked pretty good to me. He's been over. In fact, I almost played it. I probably will play it now. But I like Evans in that game also. He's been fairly consistent. And again, like you said, the dog games tend to get a little weird and sloppy sometimes. And then you do start to see some of these quarterbacks put up the numbers. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. Speaking of numbers, make sure you're using the code 5 FIVE. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. So we like some of the quarterbacks today. Jordan Love, I think all 3 of us are good on that one. I'm going to play that James Cook one that Friedman mentioned on the carries that feels safe today. Again, I do think they'll try to establish the run. Make sure you check out our picks on Twitter X. We're going to put those up here prior to the game so everybody can check them out. Of course, Dallas Philly tonight, and we'll get to the Titans game against the Dolphins tomorrow night. I have some definitive opinions on that, so we will get to that before tomorrow. Again, use code 5 FIVE, PrizePicks.com.